guest, Natalie Pichetti. She's a numerologist, and she does empowerment coaching for women. And I know that a lot of you out there probably don't know what numerology is, but it's a really, really useful tool in our lives, and that's why I wanted to bring Natalie here so she can share with us. So without any more further ado, welcome, Natalie Pichetti.
Gina.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
I'm so excited.
I am too. Tell us a little bit about numerology and what it is.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us have never heard of this before.
Right. So numerology is an ancient metaphysical science that has been used for thousands of years by different cultures. Most notably, Pythagoras was a Greek mathematician 2,500 years ago he created our number system. So the numbers we use today, numbers 1 through 9, in our economy, our whole society is based on these numbers.
Yeah.
He actually founded them. And even the Pythagorean theorem we use today, our children learn that in class. But what a lot of people don't know is that he also found that numbers weren't just down to a quantity. They also had qualities. They had a personality. They had an essence to them. And so numerology is the way I like to put it, it's studying the patterns of the universe, the patterns that might exist in nature, like 5 leaves on a flower or 6 sides on a crystal, something like that. The patterns that exist in the cosmos. But most notably, I think, are the patterns that exist within us. That every single woman, I primarily work with women, that we each have a vibration, an energy, or if that's a little bit too out there for people, a package of likes and dislikes. Like if you watch American Idol, have you ever seen that show?
Yeah.
It's like there are certain people that were born to sing.
Yeah.
Certain people that were born to build, people that were born to love. Like I have a lot of girlfriends that relationships are always on their minds.
Yeah.
And these are talking about the basic archetypes of the universe, and that's what numerology is.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's not some woo-woo thing.
I don't think so.
No.
No, and let me tell you why. Because I considered myself a very practical, pragmatic person. As you know, I was a nutritionist. I had a weight management and eating disorder practice. And I was walking my talk. I was eating the most immaculate diet for years, you know?
I know.
I mean, I was doing workshops and seminars and really believed that all of my problems could be solved, and all of the people I was working with, that their problems could be solved by just doing the right things in the physical world. One day I woke up and I couldn't get out of bed. I was incredibly ill. And fast forward 6 months from that point on, we had spent thousands of dollars, my family and I, trying to figure out what it was, going to different doctors and specialists. And I was finally sent home because nobody knew what it was. And I remember the logical part of my mind saying, I've done everything in the physical world to figure things out, to solve this problem. And that is not working, you know, which is a lot of people, a lot of women I work with, chronic illness.
Yeah.
Things that seem to be this mysterious, why is this happening, and that they don't get any answers from outside of themselves. That's one of the primary signals that numerology could be an essential component in empowerment for you if you were experiencing that. And so it only seemed logical to look in the opposite direction, to look in the direction of the formless, the unseen world. And so old books that I had put away when I was 17, numerology books, I opened it up and I was absolutely amazed. The timing of my illness was explained by numerology, and also what was even more significant was my life path number, which every single woman has, was telling me that I was actually doing the opposite of what my mission was in the world. And that subsequently is what happens for a lot of us, is if we don't step on that yellow brick road of our life purpose, it's kind of like we're no longer on the radar screen of the universe. Nothing works, you know? Our body, our career, finances, relationships, they go down, and they spiral down. And that's when women say, why is it that I'm trying so hard, I'm doing so much, and nothing is working? It could very well be this component that you are working against, swimming upstream from this beautiful life purpose that you possess.
Wow.
Yeah.
And all you feel is that something isn't working. Like, for example, did you then come to rediscovering this numerology then when you were sick?
Yes.
And that's how this all kind of came about.
Yeah. So what happened was, after, being bedridden and wasting away, and it was such an acute time of illness that, I was only 26, 27, and it was this acute time of illness, to suddenly reading about my numbers. And I woke up every morning and started to map out how I was going to live my passion and my purpose. And if you think about it, it makes total sense. It makes total sense that our cells in our body are animated by our emotions. They get bathed in our emotion every single day. So it made total sense that through numerology, discovering my life purpose, validating, for me, I'm a life path 8, which means that I'm meant to experience being a businesswoman, being in the role of the leader, being a counselor, and representing abundance, allowing abundance to flow into my life from 2 realms, the physical and the formless, which is the representation of the 2 globes on top of each other. And so I was able to bring those into my life and map out my life based on that, and suddenly everything changed.
It's amazing.
I healed.
It's amazing. You did. You healed. And so now you are offering this service to other people, mostly women, so that if they're feeling lost or low, they can come to you for coaching through using the numbers, the numerology.
Right.
And it kind of helps them, or us, to recognize our life purpose, or be validated that what our heart's desire is really is what we're meant to be doing.
The validation is so important.
Yeah.
It's so important. And I think that's the most common thing that I see, is that numerology isn't like the end-all be-all truth, right? It's like a doorway that we step into to see what passion comes up, to see what have we put off in the frozen section of our being that needs to thaw out. Why aren't we happy? Why aren't we experiencing that level of excitement and butterflies in the stomach when we wake up in the morning? And it's really interesting, the way that we figure out what a woman's archetype is, what her numerology blueprint is we take her birth date and we add it down to a single digit. Or some people are master numbers, so it's a double digit. And that will illustrate her mission on the planet. So what is she meant to do? And so many of us were like, is there more meaning to life than just this?
Yeah.
And this will explain that component of how do you go out in the world and feel that level of passion and purpose. And then I also take a woman's birth name, what's on her birth certificate, and you add it down through this Pythagoras numerology to a single digit, and that gets your tool bag number, which is really exciting, because that's sort of like a backpack of gifts and talents that you have to be successful on your